Would you just introduce yourself briefly?
Absolutely. I'm Kristin Popp. I'm the Executive Vice President for Women Supermarkets. I've been with the organization for about 28 years now. We're a retail grocer that operates based out of Wisconsin. We have 19 locations, 13 in Wisconsin and 6 in Illinois.
Wow. Okay, I didn't realize you guys were multi-state.
Yes.
What was your very first hourly job?
Actually, it was babysitting at a church. So, yeah.
What did you love about it?
I actually just love the interaction with the kids. I think anytime you can have an influence or an impact on a younger generation, it's very empowering and impactful.
So what are you doing now in your day-to-day?
In my day-to-day, so like I said, I'm the Executive Vice President for Woodman's. I'm responsible to oversee everything for the organization. So just keep a pulse on what's going on. We have a team that does the day-to-day work, but I work with them on a day-to-day basis and just understand what's happening with the organization, what our opportunities are, and then looking towards the future and how can we continue to enhance and grow and just continue to thrive in all we do.
I imagine you spend a lot of time just relaying strategy and checking in on initiatives.
Yes.
What happened in the in-between between babysitting at the church and now? Like, what are some of the lessons you've learned, some of the jobs you've had?
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, I've been with the organization for 28 years. I started with Woodman's when I was going to college, and it was going to be I'm going to get through college, and then I'm going to get into my career and do what I want to do for the rest of my life. And here I am, and this is what I want to do.
Yeah, it's funny how that seems to always be the case. Like, I've got to get out of here. And then actually, this is fun.
Yeah, no, it really is. I really enjoy every day. Some days are more challenging than others, and some seasons are more challenging than others. But at the end of the day, what we do for the communities that we're a part of, from employment to providing nutrition, to be able to give back to the communities and support those and the different things throughout those communities for the individuals that support us as an organization. So I think that's what can you take away, or what is the most impactful or thing that stands out to you the most. That's probably what it is. I've had various roles in the organization. I've done accounting, I've done HR, I've done operations, I've done a little bit of it all. And I think you asked about advice. And I guess what I would say is don't be too motivated to go so fast, because I think what I've learned throughout my years with the company is allowed me to be better at what I do today. Really understanding the deep of the organization in the weeds sometimes. And I think that comes full circle so that I can relate and understand what those jobs and what those responsibilities entail, so I can look at those in a different light than just not having that experience.
Yeah. I asked that same question of Enid. I had a conversation with her yesterday, Enid Barilas.
Yes.
And her answer was very similar. I was kind of taken aback. And her advice to anyone who's coming up in the industry or in any career path is just, hey, stay in the moment.
Yeah.
Feel it.
Yes.
Trust your gut. Doesn't have to go fast. No, we'll go right.
Yeah. No, and I tell our teams that a lot is focus on the job that you're doing. Do the job really well, understand it, do it to the best of your ability, really dive in and understand, because I think that just sets you up for success for the next. And don't be worried about the next. It's great to have goals, set what you're looking to achieve, but understand the path to get there isn't 0 to 60, right? Sometimes it's really diving into what you are doing that well and understanding it and building upon that skill. And, our leadership teams, if they've had that experience, just allows them to do their job better and relate to their staff better.
Yeah. Can you tell anyone who's tuning in just a little bit about WGA, what you do with WGA, and then about In Her Seat?
WGA is Women Grocers of America. We operate under the NGA. I have been a part of that organization for about 8 years now. I joined the board probably 8 or 9 years ago. And in 2020, I had the opportunity to take over leadership of that. And so what we've seen happen in the last 4 years has been absolutely incredible for supporting females within the industry. I think that definitely a need. It's a relevant time. I think females have been in the industry forever, but haven't necessarily had the support that they need. Females have different needs and unique needs from men who have different needs and unique needs. And just because of the way the industry is situated, being male-dominated historically, that support for males has been organic, right? But that space hasn't been created for females. And so not men versus women at all, but it's a vision of WGA is to create the space to support women in those unique needs so that everybody can come to the table to achieve their greatest success. And we can all work better together. And we have lots of male allies that help support everything that we do. It's incredible. We have a lot of initiatives that we do to help support females, but really it's just creating a community of support, growth, development, all of the things so that you have a community to lean into to allow you to be your best self.
No, I love how you frame that, because I think it's really important to acknowledge that it's not anti-men grocers that's not the deal.
No.
We need to feel included, and we need to make sure that for women who are coming up in the industry have some support that we didn't have when we were coming up.
Absolutely.
We want them to be able to sit at the table and have conversations and be confident that they're welcome at that table.
And that's what it is creating our competence level, right? Because I think if you haven't been put in that situation or you don't feel that you have that support, females are just inherently a little bit more reserved, and they want to check all of the boxes before they sign up or put themselves in any situation. And so I think just giving them that confidence and that community to lead into, asking when they have challenges, supporting them, giving them a space to just have those conversations. We've seen a lot of confidence built, not even just confidence, but the ability for individuals to feel more comfortable in those situations. It's just been incredible. We have an amazing team on our board of directors and throughout our membership as a whole. I think it's thriving right now because there's such a need to it. And I do want to touch on, you had mentioned retaining or attracting talent. I think we do a lot with the students and some of the universities. We have 2 honorary student board members that sit on our board, building out their networks before they're even in the industry and giving them an opportunity to see what a board is like and how to serve on a board and just all of those things. And the other thing I would highlight too is I think WGA and where we're at today has given us the opportunity to dive deeper a little bit into organizations. And so some of the individuals that maybe weren't at some of these conferences or at the table for the discussion, now we're seeing that happen. And it's incredible. I think we're all coming together, and it's just creating a stronger, more thriving industry forward.
I'm a member of the WGA. It's been really cool to watch over the last 5 years since I really stepped in to kind of be involved and volunteer at the table sometimes and things like that. Just being able to see how the organization has shifted, and the topics that were discussed with WGA 4 years ago are very different than the topics that are discussed today. And seeing the WGA kind of grow and mature and how it's able to support with the industry, I think is really, really admirable.
Then you mentioned Grocery from Her Seat. So last year we launched a podcast. It's called Grocery from Her Seat. I have the opportunity to host it. The whole intention of Grocery from Her Seat is to highlight remarkable women in the industry, give them an opportunity to share their stories, their inspiration, and also their advice for individuals that are either looking to join the industry or are already in the industry and just looking to continue their career here. It's been such a journey. I think we have about 25 podcasts that have been released, and the conversations and women that I get to meet through this podcast opportunity is just incredible.
Often when you're doing podcasts that are with similar individuals, right? In my experience, when I'm doing them, there's often a recurrent theme that pops up just organically that you don't mean to have it. Have you seen one of those pop up, and what is it?
Gosh, I probably have to look back and see, but I think really it's the advice that we give those that are looking to join the industry or continue their career. And it's a lot of that's reoccurring themes that we hear are lean into your community. Don't be afraid to ask for advice. Step outside of your comfort zone, because I think sometimes growth happens outside of your comfort zone. And so I think the themes that I see recurrent are the advice that we give to those that are listening in to either enhance their career or join the industry.
And frankly, that's what's needed right now. Yeah. I got to sit through your session yesterday morning, and I thought it was great. Thank you. Would you talk to me just a little bit about some of the initiatives that you're seeing in your organization or that you've launched in your organization around recruiting employees, maybe targeting which employees you want to recruit, around how you're tackling retention, which is constant struggle in the industry, and how you're impacting culture internally?
At the end of the day, it's all word of mouth. I think and historically we've invested in marketing and advertising for trying to recruit talent, but your culture and what your team is saying about you is going to be the biggest opportunity to attract individuals into your organization. And so when we think about retention and what that looks like, then on the flip side of that, to me, it starts with leadership, and it starts with what is leadership in each of your locations and your organization doing to enhance the culture that's conducive to retaining employees. And I think understanding the culture and making sure that you're keeping a constant pulse on that. And that doesn't always mean high level temperature. It means sometimes digging in, being on the floor yourself and really seeing and understanding and engaging with your team to know what's going on. When I look at retention, to me, it starts there. I think there's a lot of things that we can do to help with retention. And there's a lot of things that I always say, let's meet the employee on the path that they're on and where they're at in their journey right now within reason. I mean, you have to create sustainable policies to be able to do that, but kind of have to take a look at what are the needs. And that's a piece of it. But I think you also have to have leadership in place and make sure that they have the tools and the resources to be able to be effective in their roles. And that's where it starts.
Yeah.
You have to build the trust with your team, right? They have to feel confident that when they tell you something, that you're going to actually hear what they're saying and that you're going to respond in the appropriate way. You can't just hear it and not do anything with it. Right? If that's what you're doing, nobody's going to tell you anything. So just building the trust. And so it's not just diving in right away. And on day one, you're saying, what do I need to know? What's going on? You need to get to know the individual and build that, like you said, the culture of you create a safe space that individuals can tell you what you need to know.
On some of the sessions that I've seen, we're at the NGA show, kind of recurrent themes among grocers talking about, again, culture, but talking about different tools they're using for culture, tools that they're trying to implement, tools that they have implemented, or not necessarily software, but systems and processes in place. Do you have any, maybe not a silver bullet, but do you have anything that's kind of in your deck of solutions that you just think is a game changer for you guys?
I think we have a couple things. Again, I mentioned culture starts from the top down, right? And so I think we have quite a few newer managers or younger managers with everything that happened out of the pandemic, not rebuilding, but building their toolbox as leaders so that they can be effective in what they do. And I think if you start there, I mean, there's things that we do from an onboarding process and benefits and things like that, but I think we're coming at it from let's support our leadership so that they know how to be effective leaders and create the culture that we want to see in each of their stores and in the organization as a whole. So, we do weekly meetings with our leadership teams in each of our locations. I send out a weekly leadership email. And then it's interesting, we have the 5 rules sitting here because we do work with Steve Black and another individual that have put together some leadership training for us as well.
That's great. Yeah, Steve's amazing. Yes. I love that you guys are doing that. I wish every independent grocer was following the 5 rules.
Well, and I think it's sometimes we have to get back to basics. I think sometimes we overthink things and we think really big, which is great in some situations, but we need fundamentals and foundation to build upon. And sometimes it's just resetting your basics and doing those well and making sure everybody's aligned on the same path forward with those fundamental things within your organization.
Yeah. And consistently, is there any other key big takeaways from NGA that you think are you're taking back to your organization or that were kind of game changers for you this year?
Yeah, we're still deep in it right now. I had a busy day yesterday, so I didn't get out on the floor as much as I wanted to. So that's my goal for today, is to dive in and really see what's out here today and find what those key takeaways are. But always a great event. Love being here. And I appreciate you asking me to join me today.
No, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I have fun getting to know you a little bit better. Yeah.